Good game. All right, I just told the guys, honestly, I don't know how we gave up 7 runs. I thought DeCaro for a 17-year-old in his first start was really good. He didn't really have command of his slider like he needed it to get strikeouts. That's why he probably only had 3. But out of all of our starters, he was still 94 as his pitch count went up. I thought Percival was outstanding. He just hung one slider. He's really worked hard. Velocity's gone from last year from 86, 88. We were kidding him. We were like, hey, man, if we'd have known that you were going to reach back at 92, we would have called a 2-2 fastball instead of a slider. But on a serious note, we'll be able to do that. And, he's going to pitch a lot for us. Matty Mathias was outstanding. Cam, he wasn't bad. Again, here's a kid that showed up here throwing 86 miles an hour. He pitches 90, 92. Lost a little bit of the strike zone, which is rare for him, but he also struck out 3. So now the issue with Cam Padgett was he wasn't striking anybody out last year. Now he's striking guys out. He's throwing harder, but he's got to cut back on the walks. I thought Poston was unreal. He's been sick as a dog the last 2 days, under the weather. And we told him we'd use him for a batter or 2, and that would be it. Houck, man, I thought he was outstanding. Again, he went back out there and gave up the single and the cheap hit, and then you can't walk that guy. But Bovair came in and looked really good. I think his velocity is going to keep going up, but he's got that good slider. He hung the one, so we got to learn to. We had a lot of 2-strike counts, 1-2-0-2, where we got to put guys away. And then Dalton, that's why he's our closer. I know we used him the other day for 52 pitches, but he works hard. I knew he'd be ready. We didn't make any errors that I know of. We had solid at bats, throughout. And Vance shows you why he's Vance, because everybody wants to complain, that he struck out the first weekend or whatever. And it doesn't surprise me at all. Baseball takes a little while sometimes to get hot, but that was a big swing of the bat for us, probably the biggest. And I thought we had good at bats throughout the lineup and made their pitchers work. So it was a really good win. I think Elon can really hit when we were scouting them. I know they lost 2 out of 3 to Navy, but we also knew that they would play pretty well against us.
As good of a start to the season as you could have expected from Vance. I'm talking about Vance specifically.
Obviously Vance would like to be hitting 400, but I don't keep up with that. I'm just keeping up with the quality of his at-bats. He's getting on base at a high clip. He looks like his timing's getting better and better. And you got to remember, this kid didn't play the whole fall. So all of our other guys have been playing. He played at the very end, just against Liberty. So he's still catching up at seeing a live pitcher. But he's only going to get better and better.
Casey had another good game at the plate. He's, what is he? He's hitting 625. It's early, but he's doing everything he needed to do.
Yeah, and I'm sure you guys noticed too, give credit to Coach Gatch, our strength coach, but our team is known for getting bigger and getting more physical and getting stronger. But Casey's bigger and stronger. He's a worker, and he's more confident. We've also we haven't played him second base yet, but he can play second base. And he's one of the better hitters that we've had here, just pure hitters, and it's starting to show now with some power.
Good to get Dalton in a pressure situation early,
Yeah.
And for him to come through.
Yeah, we brought him in the other day. It was pressure because it was close, but it was not a closing situation. But that was really good. That's what we were hoping for. And, we talked about it before, like, is it too early to bring him back off 50 pitches? But Dalton's a horse, and he wasn't really taxed the other day. And he would have killed me if I had to put him in right there.
In terms of just the staff in general, a lot of guys you feel comfortable with in terms of turning them around pretty quickly, would you say?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, they're bigger kids, more physical. We struck them out some, but I think our strikeouts have the ability to continue to rise when our off-speed gets more consistent in the zone. And we also have to do a better job of pitching in with conviction. We've watched the 4 games. We haven't really had to pitch in a lot, but that's part of opening up the door away. But you guys saw the depth of the pitching staff today, the difference in this year and last year, and a credit to Coach Gaines and Coach Howell. Even the returners are better. Their velocity's better and their off-speed's better. And then you got a guy like DeCaro that you guys saw why we're happy he came a year early, and he's just going to keep getting better.
Coach, you've talked a lot about Dalton's blown save at ECU last year, not using him right after that.
Bad coaching.
So how important is having him in one of these pressure situations early in the season?
It's not as important as y'all think, because he's pitched long enough, and we saw what he did the second half of the season, and we saw what he did in a regional with the game on the line against a really good Iowa team. But that's the one thing I said, like, the biggest mistake I felt like I made last year as a head coach was we should have just kept rolling him right back out there, because he was one of our top 6 arms. But you live and learn. And the thing about Dalton that, is, of course he'd like to be a weekend starter, and he could be, but he don't care about it. He just cares about us winning. That's why he is who he is.
Kind of echoing some of the comments you said about Vance. I mean, Vandy maybe statistically hasn't had the starting once, but how have you just come the quality of his at bats as well?
Yeah, if you look at Vandy's at bats, you can just throw the batting average out because he's going to work the pitcher. He's going to make the pitcher throw a lot of pitches. He had one game, I think, against Wagner where he hit 4 balls on the nose. And then today, baseball hitting's hard. I mean, that's why nobody hits 400, hardly ever, except Dustin Ackley, I guess, and maybe one other. But he's all over some pitches. I think he looks really good. He just doesn't have anything to show for it. And he's a better hitter now than he was last year. He's way stronger. He's going to hit more home runs. It's just kind of the way it goes sometimes.
You talk about Luke managing your staff. I mean,
Yeah.
8 today. He's probably seen almost the entire roster out there. Just what have you seen from him?
He's just advanced to be his age. His body can handle it. It reminds me a lot of Chris Inetta when he was a freshman. Probably a little more advanced than Inetta when he was that age with the bat, but just bulky and can handle the workload. But he's a really good receiver. He communicates with those guys, and they like throwing to him. So that's obviously a big bonus for our pitchers.
What was the deal? I guess they called a balk,
Yeah.
but he
Questionable.
if he threw it, it's not a balk.
Well,
Even if you roll
he
it.
had already said he slipped. So if you slip and the ball doesn't get, I've got to look this up tonight because I didn't know this. I'm going to find out. The ball's got to get to the front of the batter's box or the white line in the batter's box. So that's the definition. But I'm going to get in that rule book, see if I can find it myself.
Going off Luke again, I mean, just the arm strength as well for a freshman. I mean, kind of where does that sort of stack up?
I mean, you see it. I mean, when you coach, you do watch the catcher throw to second base. And, if it's a 1-8 like he's throwing down there, you're like, okay, well, if the pitcher's not a 1-6, it's going to be hard for us to steal no matter who it is. You're only going to steal with maybe a Vance Honeycutt. And that's a big plus for our pitchers because when you have an arm like that, they can be a little bit slower and they don't have to feel like they have to slide step as much, so they can hold their stuff a little bit better.
There's a couple jams you guys had to get out of today. How do you think your pitchers handled that pressure?
I mean, really well. That's what I was looking for early. You always enjoy as a coach relaxing, I guess is the word. When you get a big lead, you can relax when they walk 18. But you also know that your team needs close games and they need to learn how to get out of jams and they need to learn how to control their heartbeat when the game is closer and you got to get a bunt down or you got to have a big at bat. But I thought all of them, I told them today the thing I liked the most was every pitcher pitched with conviction. That's what I'm looking for earlier in the season. They're not going to be perfect, but they looked like they were attacking the hitter. They looked like they weren't backing down. That's over half the battle at this level.
And a big early series coming up this weekend.
Yeah, no doubt.
What are your thoughts on the series?
I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome for the state. That's why Cliff and I do it. We're both born and bred in this state. We're North Carolina guys, and we just think, it looks like we're going to be blessed with great weather. And it's good for both of us, because you get to play good teams that can go to Omaha. And that's what you need to get where you want to get. So I'm excited about it. I'm just going to try to keep our guys focused on practice tomorrow and not too much on ECU until they roll in here on Friday.
Good.
Thank y'all.
Thanks, guys.
Thank y'all. Yep. Yeah, it is. I call it a walk-word, yeah. That's twice I've done.
Just sort of talk about the moment, coming in, pressure situation, getting it done against a team that wanted a piece of you guys as much as possible.
Yeah, every in-state team, they always want they raise their level when they come here to North Carolina when they play us. But I really don't feel pressure in that situation. I'm out there playing the game of baseball. I'm playing for the guys that are back. To me, it's just another game and another day at the ballpark.
We're pretty confident walking out the mound after that strikeout. How'd that feel?
Felt great. As you know, last year my second outing wasn't so great, but yeah, it feels good to have a little bit of confidence heading into the ECU series.
Not to dwell too much on that ECU series last year, but mentally, when you kind of blow a save like that, like Coach was talking about, he wished he got you in more. How important just going back out and pitching the next outing?
It's very important. talked to me before the season when we decided that I was going to be in the bullpen, and he basically said I have to have a short memory, win or lose, and so that's what we're gonna have. Get back out there.
So coming in, 1-run game, is that your sweet spot? You don't really sweat it too much?
No, don't really sweat it too much. Just out there having fun for me.
Let's sort of talk about the bounce back. You mentioned the 52 pitches, I guess over the weekend, you come back on Tuesday. I mean, are you doing anything differently from last year? Is it a system you've gotten yourself into to be able to go back to back, basically?
Just taking care of my post, taking care of my body, eating the right foods, getting my sleep. Credit to Coach Gaines and Coach Howell with our post-arm care system that we have, and then Coach Gatz in the weight room, getting bigger and stronger, and that helps us a lot.
Has your pitching changed since last season? Same approach?
Same approach, just attacking hitters and going right after them. All of us pitchers here, we get in trouble when we try to nibble or go around guys, and our stuff works best when we go right after hitters.
But in a closer's role, that's even more so attacking than if you were a starter or a middle reliever, right?
Yeah, absolutely. As a closer, you got to have that mentality of I'm going to attack guys and try to not give them a chance to get on base or score.
As a staff, there's a lot of focus along, the veterans such as yourself, as well as these new arms who came in. But when you look at this sophomore class, with KP, Mateus, and Patch, how important are kind of strides that they've made to what you guys can be as a pitching staff?
It's very important for us as a staff. They look up to, especially the freshmen and even some of the sophomores still, they still look up to us older guys here, but they've got the experience last year and they're all running with it.
Are you looking forward to go back to Greenville?
I am. I'm ready to be back in the jungle, that's for sure.
Talk about Luke being your catcher. Like I asked Coach Forbes, he went through 8 of you guys today. Just sort of talk about having a young guy, but an advanced young guy back there.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a special one, that's for sure. I really like how he frames pitches. I think we all do as a pitching staff, and he talks to us a lot, communicates with what our stuff's doing, how it looks that day, and all that kind of stuff. So he's really advanced to be a freshman back there.
His sort of command back there, like you said, kind of the vocal side of it. Again, as a true freshman stepping in, was there a point maybe early in the fall where you're like, wow, he's being even more vocal than maybe I would have thought him being?
Yeah, absolutely. He stepped right into that role in the fall when he came in. He started being vocal with us and communicating with us right off the start, from live ABs to the scrimmages. He was really vocal with us and kind of stepping into that role. Thank you.
Pressure situation, bases loaded, struggled a little bit, but you came through there. Just sort of talk about that at bat and the feeling seeing that ball go.
Yeah, Coach Forbes said to me before that half inning, just get out there and compete. Just to take all the other mechanical things out of it. Just kind of mentality to have. Just try to pick up Colby. If I didn't get it done, somebody else was going to. That's kind of how we're focused around here. So just glad we got the dub.
The start to the season is about as good as you could have expected after missing in the fall.
No, I think as a team we're just putting our head down and grinding every single day. 4-0 start. That's all you can ask for.
No, I'm talking about you personally.
Oh yeah. It's baseball. It's just getting out there and competing. Just trying to have good at bats, really. Swing your pitches. So yeah, I think just continue to get better.
And what'd you hit on the home run?
That was a fastball.
Fastball.
We talked about with Dalton, the mindset of next batter. Just sort of speak to your approach. You have a couple at bats where you strike out and then you bounce back, and you've done it all season thus far. Just the mental side of your approach in this your third year.
Yeah, just short memory. Just every at bat is a new at bat. It's all independent. Just get back out there and keep the same approach.
And I know the strikeouts might bug you at this point. Is this something you got to work through?
Nah, it's not a big deal.
You could obviously talk up a lot of these guys in the lineup, but Casey, just what he gives kind of behind you, just what do you like about him in front of him, besides the fact that he's kind of driving you to get on base?
Yeah, that kid's a workhorse. He's one of the better hitters I've seen since Angel. And he puts his head down and he works and has good at bats all day. So just it's a great guy to have behind me and a great guy to have on your team.
Obviously, with him being sidelined was that freshman year, y'all's freshman year. I mean, just kind of how have you seen him continue just to build off that, I guess?
Yeah, I've just seen, his work ethic and, his mentality, his mindset. It's, he's always been a great hitter, but, just his like kind of mindset over the last couple of years has been really impressive.
But becoming the second player in program history with 40 and 50.
I didn't know
With 40, yeah.
I didn't.
No, with
pretty cool.
the Grand Slam was your 40th
Okay.
home run. You already had 50 steals,
Okay.
and only one other player's done it.
That's cool.
What does that
Yeah.
mean to you?
No, I mean, that's just kind of one of the, tools I have, power, speed. So just being able to utilize that.
You good?
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Vance.